Morning all. Bit delayed in the previous meeting, so a little bit late. Usually try to be on just before 9:30. But anyway, I'm here. Morning, everyone. Okay, right. So it's past. Let's get started. Mentioned yesterday, we have non-farm payrolls coming in was far better than expected, about 2.5 times the expectation, 250% better. So had that sudden rush of blood in the markets. Is it going to sustain? Discussing with a couple of people earlier on today who are fairly knowledgeable, and we're on the same page. No, it ain't. We're in a recession, whether the politicians deny it or not. As the spending has got completely out of control. At the stage, can it be paid back? Because it's not their money. You know, you might look fancy driving your fancy car and your fancy shoes and your fancy whatever. But is it actually is it your money or is it the bank's money? And majority of people worldwide, the government should say it's the bank's money, not the it's not their money. In other words, it's borrowed. And as a result of it, as I mentioned last week, maybe just get a little bit of settling down, see what's happening. But I think we can look for start looking for shorts in the market. Most people agree that a crash is coming. Remember the big crash. As a very good pointed out that the big famous crash in the early 20th century, 1929, wherever it was, there were no such thing as leveraged instruments then. So it was just equity cash, and look what happened. When you got leveraged instruments, again, leveraged instruments. Remember, when you leveraged instruments, borrowed money, you put the margin or deposit down, you're borrowing the rest. And if you got 100 to 1 to 5 to 1, you're exacerbating by an extreme amount the downside potential. Also pointed out that we do have the ability to sell short, but when it's going to come, we don't know. It's coming, pretty damn sure of that, but when, that's the problem. And when it comes, it's fast, it's a trigger, and so often you miss it because it's so quick when it happens. But, so be careful on the upside, rather sell the rallies going forward, etc. You can only paper over the cracks so much. Just bear that in mind. The only other thing is we might curtail some of the short selling if it gets out of hand. Because it can, compounds the downside. But till that, we can make use of it. So, talk about that. I'm starting off with Brent, which I think is some upside, to be honest. My problem is, can we get let's put it a weekly? Can we get a risk reward? If you put it down there, we're talking about a $5.50 stock. Ideally, that's the place to put it. So you've got to aim pretty high to make it worthwhile. $5.50, at least $8 upwards. That's going to take you up here, no good. Up here, no good. You've got to take it up here, something like that, which I suppose you could squeeze if you take it about there. It might even get back up there, then there's no problem. But I do see upside and Brent. I was hoping to get a slightly better price this morning, maybe get to 79 or something like that. Put them in my weekly newsletter, which is sent out so that who, where, what. Anyway, we'll put the banners together. But 78 to 79 being ideal, but it not seem to be pulling back to that. So whether you want to jump the gun and look for a trade now, because we are getting some movement up, or see if we can get a better price, that's a big $50 million question or whatever. But yeah, I see the bottom of the range, some upside on this. That's my take. Morning, guys, by the way. Getting straight into it here. Okay, so anyone any opinions on that? As I said before, I's your capacity. What the trading room is for is to advise, work together. We create something out here, and then we can send them out to other guys as well. Remember, it's the clarification area where we learn strategies, trading ideas, discuss sort of things on the fundamental side which people may not be aware of. Learn position size calculator, etc., economic fundamentals, dollar index, that sort of thing. Remember, you need to interact, because I don't know whether I'm saying something you don't agree with or do agree with. We need to discuss, etc. It's not just a question, I'll attend it and then I'll learn. You need to interact to make sure everyone's on the same page. Because often, you get situations where they think you said that and they didn't, or you got the wrong end of the stick, or I got the wrong end of the stick, or whatever. So, yeah, you're going to wait a bit. Okay. Let's go back then to the non-farm payrolls. I think one or two made a bit of a hash, not the guys in the NASDAQ, euro dollar, missed out, made a hash here, and didn't put up by, I don't quite know what they did. But those who did go for the euro dollar ones seemed the feedback I was getting who attended the NFP. And I mentioned again this morning's meeting, they've got a feedback. The guys like to do it on a monthly basis, which I'm more than happy to do, if of course the attendance is there and the people have the interest. But quite a few people seem to come in and seem to be quite happy with it, and they made money on that straddle trade which was discussed on Friday at the the job report. So I don't know if you guys were, I know one or two were definitely in there, but yeah. So those who weren't aware of it can come in again next Friday and be poised and ready. Remember, we want people who got 2.5 grand or more. The reason is they haven't got enough balance. They just don't have enough money to do half the things they need to do. They're undercapitalized. Well, it's like the same thing in the world, It's just, you don't have the money, you're limited in what you can do. So it's don't mind a person coming with $50, but it's out of sheer interest, but he won't be able to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Okay, fine, Anne-Marie. Maybe we'll just leave the NAS and the indices out, just pick the euro dollar. Or I'm just thinking, actually, we'll pick something that appears to be a fairly weak currency against the dollar and do that one, because often you get a bigger reaction. If we did the US dollar JPY, we've probably done it, morning, Morris, we've probably done a bit better than the euro dollar if we did that. And then say, I'm more in the JPY US dollar. That's completely different. Trying to get through, it's a completely different trade. Even for the US dollar, Japanese yen on the long, which came out, which in the end, after all the trouble it gave us, hit the TP, it was quite nice, and took it up extensively, went quite a bit further up. But even if you're in it's a normal trade, it doesn't matter. It's a separate, the straddle trade is completely separate trade setup. So we'll maybe have a look at that and say, right, look, the euro is looking a bit weak, or the Aussie's looking a bit weak, or whatever, and then we can use that instead for doing the straddle trade as mentioned. That could, because the guy's made a quick buck out of that, which is always ideal. Everyone wants to make a quick buck, who doesn't? And it seemed to be more than happy. Okay, so there we are. That's a good old joke. Yeah, as one guy said, he went to the annual general meeting. It was such fun. He says, "Can't we have an annual general meeting every month?" Exactly. Morning, Zeph. Right. Okay. So we're going to leave Brent. The other one, looking at gold. I think gold might come off a bit still. It seems to be hovering. Look at the 1 hour chart. It's a bit sideways at the moment. So it might get another pullback. My worry is I'd like to have the stop down here on gold. That is going to be $30. So you have to look at something like that to make it worth your while. Is it ready for that as yet? I'm not sure. So you might get a better price. I don't want to put the stop down here somewhere to, in other words, aim here. That's only what, $38. So you need something like that, maybe you stop, but it could pull back there. This is a potential upside as well. As I say, I think the machination, that big move, we might get a bit of a recovery. We'll see. So that's something to look at as well. Now, there's a couple of ideas put up. Don't want to miss them. Let's have a look. I'll write them down, might be easier. Just a second. EURAUD. Want to sell that. What else? Euro NZD. Another point there, just so I'm getting back to Anna Marie there, Euro NZD for sell. I want to put back on the NAS and the S&P. The problem is a wide spread. If you go to euro dollar or some of the others, the spread's a bit tighter. So that's your hassle. Because when you got a wide spread like that, you put maybe 20 pips above and 20 pips below. For the others, it's fairly even Steven. There's very little spread. With such a wide spread, I think that creates the problem. Because you've got to make over 10 pips back on the spread before you start kicking in with your entry anyway. So I think next time we'll leave the indices out. And even the guy, I think it was Mike, who took the NASDAQ, came off it because the spreads, etc., and jumping around. Don't think he lost, didn't make much out of it. It's not the idea. The idea is to make a quick buck, as which you all like. So I think we'll stick to doing a pair currency. If the euro dollar's fine, but we might find something slightly better depending on the circumstance. So I think we'll agree on that. Okay, euro AUD. We'll start off with Tim because he asked first. No more than less. No favoritism here. Euro AUD. Unless it's Elizabeth Hurley and wants to give her my phone number, then they might get some favoritism. Only joking. Okay, Euro AUD, you want to sell it? The only thing is, I just want to mention going to the economic calendar. I'm just going to copy and paste as always for everyone. A lot of people might not have it. I try to do it every session. Just keep it there, save it in a normal way. And I'm just going to quickly do the DXY so I don't forget. That's the dollar index. So if you haven't got it, obviously save it and refer to it. Okay, going back to So where were we? Let's have a look. Yeah, remember where it is today, Monday. That's right. Lagarde again is speaking 8 o'clock. I wish sometimes they wouldn't, because it does step up trading up. But she's speaking 8 o'clock tonight, and Powell's speaking tomorrow at 20 to 8 our time. I only speak at our time, not in New York time or whatever. It's our time. So just bear that in mind. 8 and 22, 8 tomorrow. That's the thing. What do you think she's going to say? I probably almost certainly more or less the same. Slightly change the non-farms. They'll probably have a little bit more hawkish stance, which might end up getting a little bit of strength on the euro. But that's tonight. So, do you want to enter now? Okay, it's got one leg above and below, as you can clearly obviously see. We need the stop up here. It's about 100 pips. That's just about doable. If you aim there, it's not going to be worth your while. If you aim there, it's not going to be worth your while. So you've really got to start looking at taking it down this sort of level here. If you see that occurring, I'm not so sure the likelihood it is there, to be honest, can be. To make it worth your while, you've got to aim where it's going to go through the 100. Where's the 200? Down here. So yeah, it's got to really come down to that level. If you believe it's going to do that, we can certainly do a trade. But I'm not sure the Aussie is that incredibly strong to sell the euro down there. And remember, the euro economic state is not that brilliant. It's better actually than previously, but still not great. And any hawkish stance could strengthen that euro. I'm a little bit wary of it. If it was like a 60 pip stop and maybe 100 pip TP right down to a range trade, I'd be very much for it. But because we've got to stretch the TP to make it worth your while with a very wide stop, I am a little bit hesitant to say the least. That's my take on it. All good? Any comments, Tembi, and anybody else? Remember, everyone's got to join in this with their opinions. You guys will. You need to join in. Leave it alone. Okay? A few new names there. Bernard, Bawani, Bawani I think's been before. Benali, Schumer. There's a few guys out there. You need to comment. I presume you mean NZD-CAD. GBP-CHF. Just write these guys down. What do you want to do with that? Just a second. Let's just look at the stuff here. NZD-CAD as a possible sell. GBP. Okay, we'll leave it alone. GBP CHF looking for a short. Remember always, guys, you don't just put down, let's have a look at, I don't know, the euro dollar. You've got to say for a sell or a long. You need to get basically off the fence. You've got to make a specific opinion on it. I was seeing the trading resistance where it reacted. Okay, so yeah, okay, from this particular area here, I get that a little bit here, etc. Yeah, but I'll stick my guns on that one. Most technical shows short outlook out, but see high. It's a lot to do with the dollar as well as the technical from the GBP USD. It's really anyway. Can you support look at it anyway. It looks for a long, so I put down so a long. And not so crazy, by the way. Okay, we'll go in order anyway. Euro NZD. This is Zef's trade. He quite likes it. Try and find out what you want to do, and you want to sell. So I'll look for a long on this one. Add some fun and excitement to the room when we have two opposing ideas. See what happens. And get to say fuel to them fire. If you get fuel to that, makes it interesting. Okay, you want to buy it? As you all pretty know by that, I get a bit of a scaredy cat. It's now opened in the buy zone on the weekly, so it looks like there could be some more upside. What New Zealand's National Day, so New Zealand will be probably quite quiet today. Daily, let's have a look again. Cleared in the buy zone, a bit of a pullback, but this area here hold, interesting. Might have a bit more of a pullback after this major jump on Friday. Again, that's I hope everything seemed to move quickly on that. 250 pips might be a bit of a pullback. Let's look at the 4 hour. Bit of consolidation here without getting going, and even the hour's probably the same story. Well, that's up to you. You know the score. I probably would have been nervous to join here. It looks like a buy, technically speaking, but maybe a better price. The guy speak today might give it a bit of a fillip to push it up. You went ahead with the AUD USD. I couldn't advise it because the non-farms are coming out and that sort of position I can't. But you understood the score and took it, and I'm leaning towards that anyway. The feeling is not good enough to put out to guys, you know? So it worked out well for you as it turned out. So if you feel that, it's up to you. It's your money. If you decide it's worth going in there, I'm going to personally sit on the fence on that. Okay. I think it's a great possibility. A lot of trades coming up, but I think we can just keep an eye and see what happens for opening it later on. A lot of, I think, possible shorts on the stocks as well in the US. Just write down GBP CAD. Buy. Just let Christine in. You are JPY. Good to get them down and just do all buy order. You want to do a short. Okay. Okay. Jacob or Jakob coming in. Okay. All right. So if anyone likes to see the buy, you've got to look for a 4 hour to put your stop in. Remember, you have to put your stop in down here somewhere. You can't put it down here, otherwise it's not going to risk reward. But if a couple of people want me to put that up, yeah, gold might be. We mentioned gold earlier on. If we go back, we can after we discuss these. So anybody, or at least a couple of people keen to do the Euro NZD as a buy, I'll put it up. I'm going to be an LIA on that one, but a couple of people are keen. I'll put it up for you guys. Good, that's what I want, feedback. And remember, Dennis Klein is in at the moment, not sure of it, but he's quite confident, Anna Marie and a couple of other guys. You can always unmute and verbalize. It's a lot easier that way as well if you've got the confidence to do it. Okay, so where the stick looks like the overwhelming feedback, Eddie, Pietro, Solly, it looks like the overall feedback I'm getting will sit on it. So we'll leave that all there. Okay, no, okay. Right, we'll move on then. Thanks for the feedback, guys. And the prompt ones as well. And not to wait half an hour chewing up the time while to wait for people to press their decision. Or I do have to quickly check it first to make sure. Just take a few moments. That's why somebody might WhatsApp me, whatever a euro or dollar. Can't have a look. I mean, I can't answer immediately. I have to have a look first. Bit of practicing, do it fairly quickly. We still have to have a look. Okay, NZD CAD. just remember before I go on, don't forget small things, you can easily forget about it. Always keep an eye and minimize your economic calendar. Don't be jumping in when somebody's going to hardly going to be Aussie or NZD, to be fair, because that will come out this morning. They're all asleep now. But just keep an eye and check to see if there's nothing major coming out on the fundamental side before you enter a trade on that specific currency. Just a little thing we tend to forget about. And I'm just as guilty, we all do it. Okay. Trying to get a habit, just a reminder habit there. Okay, NZD, CAD. You're looking, this one as a sell. Right, now clearly it's come off. It tried to bump up, and it did bump up in the end, didn't very much. Only about 14 pips and sellers came in. The trouble is, when it went down, we're on the daily, just check that, always check you're not doing a brilliant analyzation on a 15-minute chart and just wasting your breath. That many times as well. Yeah, so it's just moving in about a 30 pip range, hasn't made its mind up yet. Let's have a look at the weekly. Clearly, it's looking now between the two and the original day neutral, but it's sort of weak below that as well. This is the additive one. Again, not much happening there. Remember, the week is probably similar because it starts each week. So the week is only about 9 hours old. So just conceptually, it sounds longer. In the past it is, but don't forget the candle, like a 4 hour can be the same as a 1 hour. If the candle on the 4 hours only been over that hour, we sometimes miss that. On the 4 hour, it's not really doing much at all. Beat a decision first thing this morning, then 4 to 8 popped up, and then it's just 8 to 12 candle, just moved back down. So not seeing much direction there to give me confidence. The bounce from such a big move down is fairly pathetically tiny. 180 pip move, 40 pip up. So it's clearly the momentum is down NZD, and the Canada at long last seems to have woken up. Personally, I think we're back to the non-farms. They're very closely aligned to their big neighbor just to the south. And so if you get a lot of strength in one, you should get what's called the US. Canadians seem to follow for whatever reason. Okay, so at the moment, it failed to bounce, but it's not got much traction to the downside. I'm very worried about the world economies and America as well. And I'm not sure that this is going to continue where the dollar is going to be flying too much to the downside. We could get a bit of a weakening of the dollar going forward, in my opinion. Sorry, strengthening of the dollar. Beg your pardon, strengthening the dollar going forward. I think if August starts going to kick in. Remember what I said about the non-farms? When it's so way over, that is conflation, because you've got a job now. It means you've got some money coming, which you now spend. What did you spend it on? Debt. Very few people pay cash on anything anymore. So that's a little bit of a worry. So it could be some dollar strength creeping and maintained. I think 102, 102.50 might hold before it strengthens a bit. Get the right way. I keep saying weakens, so used to it lately. Putting that together, I hear you say about the downside. I'm with you on that, but maybe a little bit more confirmation. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous to go now. Maybe I'm being a bit of a chicken here. The bounce, which might be an idea, some people might have thought get a bounce and buy it, but that bounce 15 pips later didn't happen. And that tells me that that's just a profit-taking quick bounce. A lot of guys are holding on. It's just my only worry is the fact it doesn't seem to be getting moving. I looked at all the terms, 4 hour, weekly, etc. I think I'm with you, Anthony. It's that's a female, by the way. I think he is. I think it's a female, Anthony. Yeah, I'd rather have it on the watch list to keep an eye on. Try and jump in now. Okay. So it sounds a bit long-winded because I'm thinking aloud, if you know what I'm saying. Thinking as I'm speaking. And bottom line is, I'm not that sure I've been doing it. We've got a lot of buttes coming up, in my opinion. We're just waiting a bit of patience to get that entry without getting too cute. Now you get in at 10 if you now you're annoyed because it pulls back the weight and you could have got a better price. You get the idea. So yeah, I personally think I'm a little bit where jumping the gun, but yeah, at the moment it's like downside. Okay, the profit taking bounce is very small. Okay, so anybody disagree and want to buy it or sell it, or are we going to stick it, be patient on it? An LIA job. That's my opinion anyway. You guys, you see where the theory is coming in. It's no good just looking and then what the hell's he talking about? It's not help. Are you getting what I'm thinking? Because you need to get some of your charts uncluttered. Obviously, not in the old days before COVID, guys come to the office and sit down at the desk and then bring out the computer and see it. And it used to be, you couldn't see the wood for the trees, it was so cluttered. Rather get it uncluttered so you can get the information fairly quickly. And I'm not excited at this stage. Okay. Anybody want to do it? Having said that, you're perfectly free to disagree. Morris is here, has done a few good trades of his own back, you know, which didn't agree, and he did quite well. So no harm in doing that, Seth as well. So what do we do? Should we move on? Leave it alone, move on, or does anyone want to do it? If you do, tell me. I'll put the calculator. Okay, we leave it alone. Okay. If you want to put the calculator, you've got to tell me and I'll put it up. Tomorrow I shall put it up. Okay, GBPCH share. Sell. Now I'm moving towards a sell on that. It's giving the right bloody entry. Agree with other than that. It's giving the sunny entry. Let's make sure all the information's there. Click 4, click date. Yeah, it's all updated. Sells clearly as it bounced up, sells got bounce up, sells coming and in the sell zone. So anyone who want to buy this, I hope your answer is no. Let's turn out and chewed up, and we'd all be wrong. But from the information we have at the moment, I'm assuming we've all learned quite clearly on that chart by looking it's below everything else. Swissy, as I've mentioned many times, so I'll say again to you guys, it's a pretty stable currency. Pound could be a bit of a maverick. I think we've got stuff coming out today as we're talking actually. Yeah. Construction PMI 11:30, don't forget that. We've got PMI coming out in Canada as well as Lagarde speaking. Just keep an eye on that as well. Yeah, the economic calendar. Sell the rally, absolutely. It seems to be hovering again. I think it's going to be a fairly quiet Monday, but I might get action this afternoon. I'm looking basically some possibilities this week and some pretty good trades hitting up. Just need to be patient to get the dust settled entry. Okay, sell the rally. You can get a bit of price, set it down. It seems to be battling to break through here. That's my only way. How far is it? Might be further than it looks on the chart. Let's have a look. No, it's not. It's small like it looks on the chart. You want to be looking at the stop up here, maybe even up here. Yeah, probably a stop up here, which means you've got to go to the weekly and you'll need at least 160 odd pips. The next one down, yeah, you could probably take it down there as a sell. I agree with you, just not really getting going as such. It might bounce up a bit before it breaks through. It's trying to, and that you might remember being for a few days, depending what the market does. Other guys say, how long will it take? Nobody has any idea. Could be in and out today, could be in and out by Friday, even to Monday. We don't know. Depends on market volatility. But I do see downside. I do agree. And we can get a TP on the weekly and a stop loss on the daily out the way. It's not a bad trade. I'm not sure what you talk to there, RR. Talk about this one. Talk about this one. You can get an RR on it, yeah. Anyone want to do it, the RR? Yeah, okay, you can. You can put a stop up here and they use the weekly, like I just mentioned there, to get the TP down this guy here. Yeah, it's a possible trade. Just might have to be patient with it. It looks like a possible trade. Okay. What's this now? Oh no, that's not going to work. That's not weekly, sorry. That's better. So hang on. TP down here, 1.0990. Yeah, that frees it. There you are. That should be on the daily. Pietro quite likes it. Good. Don't forget 195 a micro. Do not forget that. So if you've got a grand in your account, 1,000 rand balance, a couple of things you can try and remember to look at before we go on. You're forgetting this. If you've got no open trade, 1,000 rand balance, you're risking 20%, which is quite a lot. In fact, it's a heck of a lot. If you've got 2 grand, it's 10%. 10% on small amounts is doable. Okay. Don't forget, that's all very well, but if you've got already open trades, you've got a free margin of about 200 rand, you can't do it. So you've got to have enough free margin after you've entered the trade, not before, and you've got to have the right balance of percentage. You've got to be able to do that maths. So if you've got 10 grand in your account and you've got 8 grand on the market, it might not be worth doing because you're not going to have enough free margin after you place the trade. So construct the free margin, make sure that risk per micro as a percentage of your account is not overexposed. So going, let's say 2.5 grand, then you go with the micros, wide stop. 5 grand, maybe 2 micros, you get the idea. You must get that right. Okay, Anne-Marie. Okay, I hope to catch you this afternoon. Okay, fair enough. Okay, Pietro's in. Anybody else in on this one? All right, Zeph's got it. That's good enough. Just a second, I'll write it down. I'll send out the trading WhatsApp as well to see if the office likes it as well to send. 1.11, 1.12, 1.109. Is it 1.10? So 1.09, beg your pardon. 0. Okay, if you like this. Pete, what happens there? Yeah, Pete, you got to understand that. It's not a problem. You've got to, at least you understand that. That's all I'm asking. What frightens me is guys are jumping in without looking at that. But it says 150 or 250, they're getting exactly the same position size. Doesn't work. Get a lot of guys saying, let's say, I don't know, 5 grand. What sort of lot size should I take? Well, I can't say. This one, less you would on, let's say, gold. You can go 0.0 on gold. That's about 30 rand a micro. Got to do the basic math. That's perfect, people. You're getting it. That's all I'm asking people to get it. And it's very difficult to work with people who are going to try and make money if they don't get these basics, because they're just not getting the concept. If you don't get the concept, it's going to be difficult. Okay, so those who got it, take it. I've got it written down. See if it's sent out. Right. Whose idea was that? Was it Steph's idea? I think it was. So I'll put down Zeph. If it wasn't, put your name down. I'll change it to whoever it was. That's who's got it going. All right. We'll tick on that one. GBP USD. Okay, thanks, Zeph. GBP USD. I'll be honest, I see what you're saying about the bounce here. I'm not sure how much the dollar's going to pull back to enter trade the bounce. I'm personally more in favor of selling the rally on this. That's my personal opinion, but I mean, if you can think otherwise, I'd be quite happy to accept that. Remember, suspend egos rather than think of let's get the trade right. You call it empirical victory. You know what I mean? Where I think it's going to go down and you think it's going to go up. Empirical victory means I'm glad I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's really an empirical victory. I think South Africa is going to lose against New Zealand in a rugby match, and South Africa wins. That's an empirical victory. So victory, if you, I want to lose on if you've got wrong. You know, I want to be wrong, in other words. So, but personally, I think it could be more downside here. Will you get another better price or not? I don't know. Maybe wait for the dust to settle before we get cute on the dollar. But I think there'll be some downside. Some of the guys might have been out quickly. I don't know on the straddle trade and Friday non-farms. The pity if they were. The short went down far more, should I say, which was pretty good, and they could have done even better. Okay, do I like the trade? So give me a second as I do the levels. So we'll take a few minutes. Please be patient. Don't all leave me on my own as I'm doing this. I mentioned before, I think they could do it themselves, but anyway, it's easy enough. Anyway, I suppose once you got it per micro, you can do the rest yourself. But anyway, whatever. Okay. It'd be nice if we do away with keyboards and just speak into it. Voice recognition, including all the accents. It'd be a lot quicker then, wouldn't it? So I've tried a few times. It doesn't really work. It comes out gobbledygook. Right, that should be sent out. Knock that off. Oh yeah, where were we? GBP USD. All right. Yeah. You happy on that one? Okay. Right. Yeah. I'd rather sell. Tony. I'd rather sell the rally. I'm not sure I'll be buying this. Only problem is you take it now as a sell. I'm talking about. You're going to have at the 200 is quite a strong area that could give some jip. That's 100 pips. So you're going to be looking about 50, maybe 60 max. Where's 60 going to take you? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Try a little bit zooming in a bit. You'd really ideally want to stop above here. It's too far away. So you've got to use the 4 hour. Can you stop through the 4 hour? Can we do the 4 hour? Not too far away. So you have to do something like this. And if you do 90 odd pips, see, it's in the sell zone here, by the way, on the weekly, don't forget. You can take it down there. On the weekly, it's definitely a sell zone area. This one, let's look at the 15 minute. As it pops up, the sellers are coming in pretty damn quickly. So do you want to do it now, or should we, because it's come down, come back? This bit of news has been helped. Remember, it's got broken through, gone back, tested it, and the sellers are coming in again. What does the DXY tell me? Let's just change it over to it. for a second. DXY says, that's the wrong one. Sorry, just not press the wrong button there. Just give me a second. I'm going to go and do this now. DXY.
Morning, Raj. Triple one.
Good to have you. Morning to you. Good morning to you. Just a second, filling this thing, getting it set up. Right. DXY is holding above 103. I'm looking to that. 103 is going to hold. We can get. See what's going on there. Okay. Right. AUD long. Let's write that down. Remember, guys, long and buy, short and sell. So if someone says long, it means a buy. And one guy asked, does a short mean I buy it or sell it? Short means to sell it. Okay, same thing. Right, GBPUSD, 103. 103. Oh, 103, yeah, that's a DXY. That's correct. It's holding about there, which at the moment, I think a little bit of dollar strength creeping in. So yeah, anyone want to do this trade, or you're a bit nervous at the moment? It seems to be on the weekly quite good, but maybe a bit of stop up here above. Maybe squeeze it there. Yeah, about 100 pips away with a TP down to this guy here. You can definitely do it there. Maybe a little bit better there. Yeah, we'll do it to about there. That's where you want to put it. Okay, not too bad. Anyone want to do this? Sell the pound these levels, or do you want to wait for a better price? Before I remind you, seem to be holding these levels, doesn't it? Anyone want to do this one? Or do you want to wait? You wait. Okay, I'm not getting feedback on I want to do it. So wait, mainly. Wait for the short. Get a better price. No problem with that. Okay, LIA, just going to put that down, refer back to it. GBP CAD. What do you want to do with this? GBP CAD. Buy it. Okay. Remember, I'm just mentioning the US dollars looks like a bit of strength above 103 might continue. There might be a little hawkish stance coming in on that because of the non-farms. Canada, I know it's not USA, but it's such a close partner to the USA. They're going to trade across the border. You get the idea. And so I think if you get some dollar strength, I think we'll get some Canadian strength follow through as well. But it's not a bad economy. I prefer the economy on the macroeconomic basic picture in Canada, whether you like Trudeau or not. I think he's a bit of a flake himself. But anyway, but the economy itself is not bad. I know they've got a strong investment banker as the prime minister, but even so, you've got a lot of social aspects in the economy there. A lot of pressure on the upcoming elections. Was it next year? I can't remember now. Which a lot of fight towards Labour, which might introduce some social policies. Their overall economic strength, fundamental strength, is not that great. I'm not sure I would. I know it's a bit of a bounce likelihood here, but it seems to have broken through that and bounced up to test it. Is it going to have follow through upwards? I'm not so sure about that. I'm just going to go to the weekly. How's the problem down here? Penny downside on the weekly. Let's go to the 4 hour. It's very much a sell on the 4 hours, and on the hourly, it's come up and test it, and some sellers are coming in. I personally, who I know came up with this idea for the buy, I'm leaning toward the sell on this one. I'd rather sell the pound and buy the dollar before I even look at the chart stage. Remember, again, they've got the funding coming out on both those currencies later on today. 11:30. What's the other time? It's 5, isn't it? Just check again. 11 o'clock on the pound was the PMI, I think. Yeah, PMI on the pound and 5 o'clock again, as mentioned, on the Canadian. So got 11 on the pound, 11.30 rather, and 5 Canadian. Take that into account, just so you make sure you know your decision. So what do you want to do? I'm a bit aware of those fundies coming out on the downside, and the person came up to get the name down, I can't remember, who was looking for a long. So a few balls near on that one. What do you guys think? Leave it alone, go for short, long, or whatever. Wait for fundies, okay? Anybody else? Should we wait on this one? Anyone keen to do it? I'm seeing downside, some guys seeing upside. Guys want to see upside, I'll put up calculators. Up to you. I've given my advice. Up to you. My take, shall we say. Wait. So I need you to reply, guys. Thank you very much for those who do. Don't need a half an hour silence, because then I don't know whether you like it or not, and then move on and you miss out. You agree with me on the downside, but are we going to do anything at the moment? Well, you asked me, am I? I personally not. Can't believe it. Euro JPY. This one is a sell. That's one to sell. The Japanese yen, remember, it's weakened lately. It got weakened quite, I think, more than the other currencies against the dollar rise on Friday. I think some weakness is creeping back into it. And I think Lagarde speaking later on tonight, she could be slightly hawkish. I'd be surprised if she's not, to be honest. So I would be a little bit uncomfortable being on the short side of this. I think that support area might hold. We might have another attack on the 100-day moving average, which is what, 80 odd pips away. To me, that's where I put my TP. So look about a 40 pip stop, which I don't like. It's too close. You'd have to, that's too far away. So you've got to put it in that range to do it. The distance to the target is not enough to justify the long. And for the sell, you're gonna have to put the stop up here. We're talking about 100 pips away. So look at this, has got to get through. This has got to get through. This has got to get through down to here to make it worth your while. There's a lot of bloody hurdles before it gets there. Plus the fund is coming out. Yeah. Again, I can't get the maths right for a buy, and there's too many obstacles on the sell. I personally, I'm with you more. You prefer a sell? I'm more on Mari's side on this one. I can't get the maths to go for a long. I can do the maths for a short, put the stop up there, but just bear in mind, you're going to take it down here. Do you want to do that in Tommy? I'll put it up with pleasure if you want. I'll put it up anyway, and you can make your mind up. $144. You're expecting a lot of Japanese strength to obtain that target, trust me. And a lot of European weakness to get that. But that's what you'll be looking at. You see, one was about 190 a micro, this is 120 a micro. So you can't say on this amount what lot size, because it depends on where the risk calculator gives you. If you're risking 300 rand or 350, you could do 3 of these. But on the other one, you could only do one, because you'd be over 350 on the other one. So it depends on what the calculator gives you as your risk per micro. And Tommy likes it. Anyone to join him, Tommy, with this one as a short? Not you, Morris, fairly clear on that. I'll take that as a red. Anyone to join Tomby? Naomi. Hello, Naomi. Hi. Are you new? Welcome if you are. Great. Well, there you are. If Tomby and this is, don't count to say you're doing it. You find it's a demo account. It's got to be on a live account. You've got to do it. not you're interested, you like it, doesn't mean anything. You've got to do it on a live account. That counts as a trade. I would say if you're trying to get off the fence, you won't be able to do this, because this is definitely getting on the fence there, off the fence territory. If you want to, in fact, making money go off the fence anyway, you're going to be decisive anyway. So yeah, so are you going to do it? This is, yeah, yours along, get that, but we're doing a short one. So Tombi and Naomi, you both doing it? Have you gone into this trade? I'll write it down if you've both gone in on a live trade, that is. A lot of guys think this, that, and the other, and final demo. That's a waste of their time. That's why I think it's only had the demo for a month. So wasting everyone's time. That's just to get an idea, basically, how it operates the platform. Did you go in, Naomi? Did you go in on Tombi? I need an answer before I write it down. Don't interrupt. Just going to put yes, yes, or not. You did, Naomi. Well done. Did you go in on Tombi? Good. I'll write it down. Well, don't mind good, but I'll write it down. Euro JPY. You see, I can't send it out to all the guys out there, whether you say it or not. It's just the trading room, because I've got to put my fingerprint behind it, and I'm not keen. So I only send stuff off that I sort of back. I've had trading room guys come up with some stuff, and I haven't agreed to it, so I won't put my name to it. You know, 14311. 140. I still can Zoom user. I like that. You don't understand it. Well, first let's go to the euro. I'll speak later on. I think it's going to be hawkish and some strength coming to the euro. The Japanese government wants a weak rand because they've got to export themselves out of trouble because they can't increase their interest rates, go to the hawkish stance because they've got too much debt. So it's encouraging a weaker yen, and the yen has been strong for a while, but now they've reduced the bond buying. So as a result, it has special interest rates to get the money they needed. So it has presented some weakness going forward. And I think possibly I would think the euro is going to be slightly stronger than the yen. It's in the neutral zone, between the 200 and the 50. No, it's not, sorry, it's between the 200 and the 100. So it's slightly on the strong zone on the daily between these two, but it's slightly lesser so on the other one. From that point of view, that's what was thought about on the sell. I'm not so sure. I'm leaning more towards the buy. That's what they were thinking. I'm not. I think it's upside. Where's Zoom again? Make sure they're on. Okay. That's certainly. Jacob, I'm on the buy side. But those two ladies reckon it's a sell. They asked the risk reward, and I put it up. You could say I want to buy on anything. You get another person to join, I'll write it down, and we'll go under the trade of thinking Tombi idea. So putting Tombi down there, and it was Maria. Was it Maria? Was it, no, wasn't it? Naomi. What's the name again? Wrong now. Sorry. Naomi. Where's Maria from? Naomi. But Jacob, I'm on the wrong side of this one. I purchased the upside. Okay. My reason for going long is, well, I mentioned that they think it's going to come off. I think that's going to hold. I think it's going to take that out at some stage. Might have a bit of a trouble doing it. How far away is it? It's about 80 pips, is it? 80 pips, yep. And I think possibly up here. But I can't do a maths on the long because I don't want to put my TP above there. And if I do, my stop's got to be too tight to make it worthwhile doing. That's why I'm not going to be doing it. Does that answer your question, Jacob? Okay. Are we clear on the same page? Good. If you're not, I'll repeat again. It's important to understand. Okay, so see how you go with that one. Again, empirical victory. If I'm wrong, and it does go off, I'll be happy for you because I'm not going in. If I was going in, I don't want an empirical victory. I want to be right. Okay. Righty. So there we are. I'm going to put down Tombi. AUD, can't read my writing. AUD is a long, what was AUD something or other. I didn't write it down. They've only got the AUD and I put long. Not sure against who's going to go and search what that was. AUD, whoever came up with an AUD one. So whoever came here, repeat it again. I forgot what it was. Oh, AUDJ. Okay, found it. AUDJPY. Right. Knock that off. AUDJPY. This is a long. Could possibly it's a long. I tend to agree on that one. Like it, in fact, more like it. Can we put it down here? I prefer to have it down. That's a bit wide. Discuss that in a minute. Let's look at the TP. We need to take it there to make it worth your while. Just to scratch below that. Maybe a little bit lower. We can possibly do this. I have to do on quite wide. Let's check it. Neutral on the weekly. Where's the problems going to occur on here? Plenty upside there. 4 hour neutral, but it's every time it comes down, the buyers are coming in. 1 hour. Didn't tell you much on the 50. I'll put up anyway. Yeah, I think it's a possibility of some upside here. I think AUD will be stronger yet going forward. I tend to agree on this one. What idea was it? Yeah, I'd agree on that, Brady, as well. S&P. Just write that down. Okay, who's idea with this? Check. AUD. Didn't have a name, it's all sorts of numbers on it, so I knew who that person is. Okay, NZD, USD. Okay, look at that in a moment. All right, AUDJPY long might get a bit of a price. Yeah, I did come back here somewhere, around about 90. Ideal, put the stop down there, take it back up there. I'm not very keen on this wick here. It's not giving a lot of follow through. It's my only worry. Anyway, it's not getting a lot of follow through. But I don't know, I like it. I think it's nice to get a better price. There you are. Okay. Do we agree? We'd like to buy it at a better price, or do you want to go in now, or sort of thing? What do you reckon? Because if we can get a better price, it'd be ideal. If we get 91, that'd be ideal. Might not get it. We can adjust that. Stop loss should be down here. 90, make it around 90. Make it 90.100. And TP up here, 92.42. Put 92.40. Make it a little bit tighter, maybe. Yeah, so. Yeah. Yeah. 92, you can't do it, so right in hand. 90.15. Well, just below this guy here, that's fine. Better risk reward. I like the pending order more than the entry market, but I might miss out. Yeah, there's a lot of shares I'm looking short. I think there's going to be a lot of possibilities on shares. I write that down. I've got Nike, Tesla, GM, tech stocks, Oracle, KO as well. A lot of possibilities and downside on that. Okay, anyone want to do this one on a pending order? I think it's quite good to pending order rather than market. Okay, so the pending order there, so we'll take it down. I'm not going to send it out to the office because people don't understand to read it. They'll jump in and mark it anyway, whatever it sees pending or whatever, they don't seem to understand. So I'm just looking after them, which I'm not sure I agree with. If we can't learn how to do the job, why should we even mollycoddle you? It's up to you. We're not working for the state, we're working for the, the private sector, where it means you've got to learn your stuff. So we like the pending. Okay. So now the pending, we come back. AUDJPY. $91.00, 90.15, and 92.40. Okay, just want to see if that order's been sent. Has everyone received that order? GBP CHF should have been sent out. Has everyone received it? We should have received it. Okay, I was going to ask. You received it? I know you have, Peter, but got it. Good stuff. Between you and the gatepost. No. Okay, so I'm just about to send that. I'll wipe it out. It's been sent. Good. Fine. You should, if you haven't got it, check your MT5 again. You should have got or WhatsApp. I don't know how to send it out. Remember, the system is I sent out the idea because I'm qualified to do it basically for regulatory reasons. And then obviously, whether you're regulated or not, like people agree with it. Like if Zef doesn't agree and Fine doesn't agree, whether or not, the point they're not doing, and I might hesitate. But if they like it, then they will then send it to head office and they put a banner, what they do is put together with the FSP number and stuff like that. And then it should be sent out by the office directly. One of the man from the office sends it out directly on the WhatsApp group to the guys. I think it's sent to everybody today. We're getting more, probably only be sent to the VIP. We not usually send more than one signal if we have one today to the below 2.5 because they haven't got enough money to cope with it. But if you've got more than 2.5, any new signals that come out during the day will be sent to that VIP group. So on that subject, if you've got more than 2.5, you can WhatsApp me. Okay, Roger, just write it down. WhatsApp, remember, not phone. 1606152924331. Okay, if you're not on it and you want to go on it, just WhatsApp you and I'll update you to it, and then you'll get daily updates, etc. However, if it falls below 2.5, they do an update every day. They filter it out. If your balance is below 2.5, automatically the system you won't receive it. So make sure if you put 2.5 in, and you make sure you keep the balance above it. Okay, just make sure you. Otherwise, you might be on today and then off tomorrow. So don't scratch it. Rather get 3 or more in your account than you do the job properly. If you can, you can't. It's up to you. Okay, so ADJPY, might have missed it popping up a bit. We'll see as a pending order, see what happens, come back to it. Okay, we want to look now at the S&P. I look at the short possibilities there as well, I agree. S&P, 500, let's have a look at this, put up the weekly. How far away is it going to be? It's not too far, it's doable. It's not too far, it's doable, put it up here. So I'm going to put it maybe 120 pips away, 422 range. TP. Steady down here, I think. Make it 3950. Magnum get lower. I think it's got a chance of getting 38 out of it now, but 3950 to start with. Don't forget you can modify that as well. That's not going to work. It's got to be a bit lower. Okay. And too far. That'll do. There you are. Or make it a straight 39 or something like that. But yeah, that should do you. 200 bucks a micro, which is affordable for most people. I don't want to stop any tighter because you can get a bit of noise on the indices. I've made up of 500 shares, US stock. Well, okay, don't forget that. But yeah, I agree. Anybody like this? Get a copy, I'll write it down. I might even, if they like the S&P, put it out there to the other guys. That'll go to, this will go, anybody in the trading room can take it, clearly. But it'll be sent out if it is, and they like it, you will agree, and it'll be sent out to the VIP group. Anybody like this? Yeah, of course you can absolutely brave, but this is the beauty. You don't want people to start getting an idea of the basic maths, so they can think of ways, of many ways to skin a cat, as they say, many ways to do it. Okay, right, I'm going to get that down just a second. We're going at 1, 1, 7. Okay, serial like that. Okay, it's all there if you want it. Just get this out of the way. There you want it. Okay, should all have it. And then we're going to NZD. Just knock this off. You all got it? NZD, USD. Right, that's the weekly, bit of support there. I think the guy wanted to sell this one. Maybe have to break that first before we get cute. Put on the daily. Look at that possibility, might get a slightly better price, I don't know. 4 hour. If it pops up, you notice the sales are coming in pretty quick, only 16 pips. Yeah, there's a possibility of this one. It seems to be holding these levels here. Why am I not? USD is a little bit, not a bad currency. Tough, somebody's a bit iffy. Likes it. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, like it. So going back, excuse me a second. You make your mind what you want to do with this. I think I'm iffy on it. personally, but anyway. Put the figures in again. 4228. Let's treat that right now. This will be sent to the VIP group, by the way, unless you're in the trading room, because I haven't all of this in the trading room. Not this off, put it back to the default. Okay, NZD USD, go back to that. I think I might just, I'm not too sure about this. I'd rather sell than buy it, I would agree on that, but I think I'll just wait. I'm going to hang 5 on that. And my thoughts are NZD is quite strong. I think we might get a better price, but the weekly is a little bit of a breakthrough there. Maybe the breakthrough on the weekly might make it a little bit more confident about that one. But it's not really getting going either. I'm thinking I'm just on sides on this one. Anyone else like to do this one, however? Leave it alone. Okay. Anybody below that on the S&P wouldn't be able to take it anyway, because they took the previous trade. They wouldn't have enough money to go for the second one anyway. So just bear that in mind. Even in the trading room, you can, even though having highly leveraged, but if you've got a ground of 1500, you're going to be overexposed. You do this one, a GBP CHF, stops it quite wide, and you'll be overexposed. Even if you have a highly leveraged account, so I suggest you give it a miss. Do one for sure, but not the other. Okay, right, let's just have a recap then, going into the proposal. Oh, just I'll remind you again tomorrow and Wednesday morning. It's my birthday on Wednesday. I'm a gentleman, and as you know, ladies, you never ask a gentleman their age, so if you do, I won't give it to you. But anyway, it's my birthday on Wednesday, so I'll be doing the morning session, but I won't be doing the afternoon. I'm sharing you. I'm going to go out to a country club and have a pub lunch or something like that. So probably have the stuff at hand, I suppose for the WhatsApp or whatever. But I will be away, and just bear that in mind anyway. So I'll do the morning session and on Wednesday, just so you know. Okay. Not the afternoon, but back to normal on Thursday. Normally you have a day off your birthday, but I can't leave the train for a whole day, so I'll do the morning and not the afternoon. Okay, just so you know. I'll be shooting out probably just after 11. Okay, just so you know. I'll remind you again tomorrow and also Wednesday morning. Okay, bye-bye. Gold is trying to go up. I want to get a better price. Let's see if we're going to get it, but I won't be chasing it now. We discussed that. Oh, is that right? Okay. Both from Aquarians. That sounds good. Apparently, it's by far the best astrological sign to be under there, TD. Okay. I'm told it's by far the best. Even that sort of stuff, which I have my doubts. Anyway, let's move on to GBP CHF. Oh yeah, so not stable. Quite unstable at times, eh? GBP CHF. Anything happening on that? Doesn't look much on the daily. Anything happening on the 15 minutes? No idea. Don't know why there should be different. There should be mark to market the closing price of the weekend. The end of the day, don't we have an end of the day on this forex? It goes around the clock. Only has the end of the day on the close on Friday, but it should, going into the weekend, have no difference in the spread in theory. It seems to only have some reason, but it should be what we call mark to market, where there is no spread on close. That's because in between the spread is the actual market price. The rest, you know, the spread is the market maker's brokerage, if you like, or cost. Yeah, but it should be all mark to market on the same thing. So I don't quite know why. Okay, let's have a look. Right, GBP CHF. What are we getting on? $1.1165 as a sell. Okay, it's not much, but it's in profit. So we didn't sneer if even a few pips in profit. Not better than being a few pips down, eh? So it's 6-1. I remember you getting on the sell and the buy. So actually, you ignore that once you're on the sell. You look at this price here. So in theory, it's 4 pips in profit. Okay. So remember on a spread, you get in the sell on that, you get out on that market maker spread. Okay. Buy, get in this, you get out on that. So you get in now and a buy, that's got to get to there to break even. If you got a spreads account, not a commission, you go minus, we go in. Once you see blue, that's your price extent. That's the beauty. Okay, slightly in profit. S&P, we just go and just can't count that. Oh, another point, whatever it is, everyone expects when they go in to go and meet in your direction, not necessarily go up a bit, down a bit, go down, then pop up and all sorts, you know, the noise, don't forget that. So it's encouraged to see it going your direction. And it's slightly in the direction. We got on the sell, remember, it hadn't quite covered the spread yet, but it was at 5 and now that's at 4. It's slightly okay. But remember, just give it a chance. Give the trade a chance. Don't take your profit too quick, and you could be in there for a few days. Who knows? I don't know. Nobody does. Right. I think that's a lot as regards anything else I've gone through. Yeah, come to every moment. Possibility, if not today, definitely tomorrow. I think a lot of short potentials can come in. I'm just going to go through quickly. Put them on daily. This is one of them. I think tech stocks, I know in the buy zone, but I think they're overcooked. I think we're going to see some pullback. I think Apple's a possibility. I see the chance, we've already done that on Amazon. Possibly on Amazon, some good stuff. Even our good friend BA, I don't know about that. BA, if we pull back a bit on Brent, I think we've got some possibilities there. I'd like to get it at a price. If we can get it for a buy on Brent. What else have we got out there? We've got Google. That's also, if you could break through there, it might do an opening, possibility, whatever price. Possibility to discuss the tech stocks, another one. I think Meta's going to pull back at some stage. Okay, that was a jump for fundamental reasons. I think even Netflix is going to pull back a bit. I see some downside on Netflix. Let's have a look at the others. Microsoft, I think, so we've got a whole lot, possibly a downside coming up. Even Oracle, possibly downside. I forgot my friend Baba. Here's another one. Possibly a downside on this one as well. And of course, our good friend Tesla. I see some possibilities of downside on that. So we've got a large amount of possibilities of good entrance. I'm hoping we're going to have a good week, a very good week this week. Don't forget, we've got the nuisance of Powell tomorrow in regard today, which is a hassle. But other than that, I think they'll both be hawkish, and we can get quite a few. I think the account might not be able to handle all of them. A lot of potential for some downside climax. There's not an analyst out there who didn't see we're waiting for a disaster waiting to happen, worldwide, economically speaking. So I think it's some possibilities. Okay, so we'll look again this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Okay, right. Anything else? I think that's all. I just want to quickly check the NAS. I forgot to mention earlier. Some guys put the dollar around last week. If they did around about 17, they might have taken profit. Pity if they did. That's why you need to let the trade run. They would have done extremely well. The non-farms have been a great benefit, shot up. It's got some resistance here. People are buying at the top. Don't agree. What's this now? I don't agree. You should be buying at the top. I would certainly wouldn't be chasing it now, but even I might be even taking profit now. For the guys who took that exotic trade, I'm smiling. Yeah, and the NAS mentioned, just got to try and break the 12.5. We could even get some more downside there, which I hope during the day we're going to get. Okay. Are you getting the levels? Mark has just said he's not getting the levels for the trade on the MT5 mailbox. I'm not sure where that is. Did you get the levels? There's no point saying the trade don't get the levels. The banner alone ain't going to cut it. Screen that myself. Don't understand that. I'll just have to check on that. Details, please. Quite a few people are not getting this. Don't know why. Figures are wrong. Let's check. Let's see. GBP1. GBP1. Just trying to find out all this noise. Just sorry, guys, give me a moment. The GBP1 figures are wrong. It's a sell at. Let's go back to it. 1161. That's about right. One top there. The trouble is they when the thing they put the TB first and the SL last. We used to have the SL first, the TP. So just check. It says there TP, which is correct, and the SL is no, the SL is wrong. SL is one. No, that's wrong. 1.265. I think it is 0. So. No, it's right. No, SL's right. Yeah, I think it's confusing people. It's correct. Guy who said that somebody just said it's incorrect. No, remember, I don't know why they do it, but they put the TP first, so for the entry price, they put the EP, TP, and SL in that direction. I always go EP, SL, TP, and that's confusion because when you put the order up, you can see it's the SL is before the TP. So it confuses people, but it's correct. It's the right order. So I'll send that out as well to the guys. Did you receive? You should have been receiving this. Okay. Sorry, I had to make that sorted out. So just knock that off. Did did you guys get that? On the S&P 500, it's going to just check that. Have a check just a second. Very patient. All these figures flying around. Where the hell are we now? GBP said chef, you should have got that. Spend it out anyway, make sure you got it. Send out twice now.
Roger Peter, sorry, it is right. I let's check it now. It is right.
Because I've got half a dozen phones, that's like exaggeration, figures, and some send out not in order. It takes time to concentrate and get fat finger. That's why I have to concentrate on it to make sure there's no fat finger. Okay, it is correct. Because it's not like a share with 100 Rand and 90 Rand stop loss, 120 Rand. It's easy to remember. It's 1.09 or 1.90 or 0. You know what I mean? You really got to concentrate. So you've got that. Have you got the S&P? So I just want to identify we're on the right track. The non-VIPs, that's 2.5, should have got the GBP CHF, but the VIP clients should have got both. So does everybody got both the signals on the VIP? And other guys have got 2.5 grand or more. Thank goodness for that. Got it. I'll get on to the case of the office. Right. Good. All right, sure. Any queries to say, put your hand up and WhatsApp, because I don't know. It's like I get it and the copy and paste and push it on, assume they've done what I've said properly, you know. So thanks for that feedback. Good. Keep you informed. Okay, this is doing quite well actually so far. Right. What's the time now? It's coming in. Anything else before we close up? Thank you, Zakir. Zakira. I think Zakira. Yeah. Okay, great. Right, anything else before we close up? To put this image out as well, just to draw attention to it.
Yes, please, Roger. Sorry, I missed the gold discussion. What did you mention about gold?
Okay. Just a second here. I disagree on. Gold. I want to buy it, but not yet. I just can't get the figures right, so I think this you've got me there. Yeah. I want to buy it, but my problem is I want the stop down here. And if you do that, you've got a $33 stop. Do you mean you've got to take it up to at least there? That's pushing it a bit, maybe here. Shall we say here to get a risk reward? And it's a bit early stage to push for that. If you put the stop down here to there, you're talking 20, so you can maybe do to there to get your risk reward. But you're putting the stop within inside that range. I do see some dollar strength coming in. I do think that the economic worldwide is a problem. So, and people are buying gold. They're buying gold because they're frightened. Most people out there are Chinese, Indians, a lot of guys, and a lot of guys that understand a little bit about economy and the fear of this enormous debt we've probably got. Want to go some secure. They don't want to move away from fiat currency into an asset that holds its value. And gold is very much does that over a long period of time, from Roman times of your life. So yeah, the buyers of physical gold are coming in, and the guys of trading it are coming in. So I personally want to do it, but I want to stop below the 50. If I have to stop there, I'm a bit worried about the risk reward working out. If you want to do go in and you want to buy that, then you'd have to stop below these two. Then you can work it. That's your choice. So I just thought I'd just sit on the fence for a moment or two. And if it still continues up and it breaks through that area, then we can put a stop loss below and get a TP. At this stage, I'm just going to sit on the fence on that one. I get a better price or a breakthrough, basically. But to me, it's come off for basically because the fundamental. But I don't think we're going to certainly, I think if you get even comes back to this particular area here, Farley, I don't think we can make that too much technical, no technical fear out there. And I know for a fact that India and China are still hedging by buying gold. A lot of guys are buying gold for that reason. A lot of guys are getting Krugerrands, you get the idea. So I just sit tight on that for the moment. Have another look later on today on the 4 o'clock show. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Rog.
Okay, mate. Well, it's 11 o'clock. I'm fairly busy. I've mentioned we've got a lot of possibilities coming up, on the tech stocks and other stocks, KO, Coca-Cola, etc. Even GM again, Goldman Sachs, GS, Goldman Sachs, a few of them. That's a heck of a lot of possibilities. I think if we can get this, you'll be picking and choosing because you can't remember the whole all the trades. You get the idea. So I think we could get a bumper week. I'm hoping for once we get the direction and we get Lagarde out the Saudi way. I wish Powell speaks there as well. We get them both out of the way, so don't interfere in it. But having said that, I think they'll be bullish, which will help our cause. Okay, so bullish, bullish, hawkish, which means negative on the market. So it should help our scores. Okay. Okay, guys, catch you later. Cheers. Cheers.